Fox News host Jesse Waters made a weird and potentially marriage-threatening comment during an appearance on The Five this week on Fox News. And it was when Jesse Waters began talking about his wife, Emma, possibly voting for Vice President Kamala Harris. Well, according to Jesse Waters, this is about as big of a betrayal of trust as it would be if she were having an affair. Which, for the record, actually, Jesse Waters had an affair with the woman he is now married to. He was married to his first wife, and then he cheated on her with the woman he's now married to, and then divorced the wife. So he knows all about having affairs. But he thinks that his wife not voting for Donald Trump and voting for Harris instead would be akin to having an affair, and therefore grounds for divorce. Here he is, in his own words, Jesse Waters explaining why his wife is never allowed to vote for someone who is not a Republican. Take a look.
And if I found out Emma was going into the voting booth and pulling the lever for Harris, that's the same thing as having an affair. That, to me...
Oh, my God. Let him finish. Go, Jesse. It's our day.
That violates the sanctity of our marriage.
Preach on. Yes.
What else is she keeping from me?
Exactly.
What else has she been lying about?
Why would she lie to you? Have you threatened her? Why would she lie to you?
Oh, they want me to tease.
Why would she do that and then vote Harris? Why would she say she was voting Trump
not the problem,
and then voting Harris? And I caught her, and then she said, I lied to you for the last 4 years.
So you admit you intimidate
It's over, Emma. That would be D-Day.
That sounds horrible. Not just the statement itself. It sounds like a horrible marriage. If you are in a marriage and your spouse is threatening you with divorce over who you may or may not vote for in this election or any election, that is not a healthy marriage. If you're married to a Democrat and the Democrat says, if you vote for Trump, I'm divorcing you, that should already be grounds for divorce. You should file for divorce and leave that person. Husbands do not have control over their wives. Wives do not have control over their husbands. You do not get to dictate how that individual human being gets to vote. They can vote however they want, and no, that is not a betrayal of trust. That is a human being exercising their constitutional rights and their God-given right of, autonomy. Jesse Waters doesn't seem to understand that. Jesse Waters apparently thinks that, hey, this is my wife. I get to control her. If she doesn't vote the way I want her to, then we got a real problem there, and I guess I got to leave her. That's apparently what he thinks. On social media, you had Olivia March Dreisen Howell, who is co-founder of the divorced women's advocacy group Vote Without Fear, posted this on social media in response to Jesse Waters' little meltdown there. She said, if you're married to Jesse Waters, please see below. Friendly reminder that you do not have to tell your husband who you voted for. He will not and cannot find out who you voted for unless you tell him. And then, of course, she linked to her website, votewithoutfear.com, or she said you can call 888-291-3027 for more information. So maybe keep that information in your back pocket if you need it. Now, here's the thing. This statement from Jesse Waters about his wife maybe secretly voting for Harris, even though that's probably not even going to happen, but it's calculated. There's a reason Jesse Waters is doing it. It's not just because he's mad at a hypothetical he created in his head about his wife. He's doing it because at the same time he's talking about this on the air, you have conservative MAGA freaks freaking out online because the early voting data shows that women are a 10-point advantage in early voting. By 55 to 45%, more women have voted early than men. And the reason MAGA world is freaking out about this, of course, is because women overwhelmingly are supporting Kamala Harris and women overwhelmingly do not like Donald Trump. Here is what Mike Cernovich had to say. He said, mail turnout in Pennsylvania for Trump has been a disaster. Unless this changes, Kamala Harris takes Pennsylvania and it's over. Charlie Kirk said this, early vote has been disproportionately female. If men stay home, Kamala's president. It's that simple. Hopefully. I mean, hopefully it is that simple. And hopefully that happens. You know, it's really funny that these idiots are freaking out about this right now. This is something I have actually been saying for months. If we're going to defeat Donald Trump at the ballot box, women are the ones who are going to do it. Like, we are, as a nation, praying, at least some of us are, I think most of us maybe, are praying that women bail us out of this situation. Like, that's what we're hoping happens, because they're the demographic that holds the power. They're a majority of voters. 53% of voters in this country are women. So if we're going to beat Donald Trump, it's because women come in and save us. And it shouldn't have to be that way. We shouldn't put it on the women to save us. But unfortunately, this country as a whole gets pretty stupid at times with our groupthink. So we have to hope that they save us, and hopefully they will. And that's not saying, by the way, that if Trump wins, it's because they didn't do it. It's because of everybody else being stupid. But again, we're hoping women can come in and save us from this mess that the country has created, which is not fair to them, but it is the situation that we are in, unfortunately. But that is why MAGA is freaking out. That is why Jesse Waters is freaking out. And Jesse Waters', threat, I guess we'll call it, against his own wife is actually not uncommon. Now, I had talked a couple weeks ago about Amanda Marcotti in Salon.com. She actually interviewed a lot of women who are terrified that their husbands are going to find out that they are not voting for Donald Trump. They gave interviews. They're talking about the fact that, yes, I don't want to do this, but I'm terrified about how he will react. Which, of course, is a major red flag for a marriage, again. But there are groups out there. The Vote Without Fear group. Again, that's votewithoutfear.com. If you are afraid that your spouse is going to come at you or come after you for who you voted for, just remember, they cannot look that up. They cannot find that data. The only way they can know who you voted for is if you tell them. So if you are in a position where your spouse is going to grill you about who you voted for, understand, and I almost hate to say this, but I feel like I need to say this. You can tell them whatever you want because they cannot check it. So that's just a little piece of advice. Pass it along. Votewithoutfear.com. We need to actually push that website pretty hard. So spread it around, pass it around. This is important. You do not have to tell your spouse who you voted for, and they cannot look it up. So you can, in fact, vote without fear. That goes for you too, by the way, Jesse Waters' wife. Thanks for watching today, everybody. And don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out, if you're not following me across all other social media outlets, then get on it. You can follow the links in the description of this video.